personal 7D, we will need the help of the leopard. He's on the Kairos. The leopard, as an animal, gives you incredible power, agility. Like, on va recommencer. Ça ressemble à rien. C'est pas grave, tu vas couper. Hein? For the personal 7D, we will get and ask the help of the leopard. The leopard is a powerful feline, and this is also the power we are expecting from us in this difficult world. So thank you to the leopard. Invite him in your meditations, and yes, he's here too. He's on the Kairos. The leopard gives a lot of energy. Also to the hummingbird. So in this alliance, personal power, capacity to develop your personal power. Today, I invite you to dive into two keys, must-have keys of knowledge geopolitics. The geopolitics today, and you can see it on the news everywhere, is about military power, controlling the media, etc., etc., and we will go in details a little bit on this old world who attaches to a sinking ship, basically. I will debunk all of that, and we will work and share with you today the two absolute must-have keys of the next generation geopolitics, as the knowledge that will make actually a very strong new geopolitic power with everybody. So nobody will be excluded. So I'm addressing myself today to you as a leader, territorial leader, city authority, metropolitan authority, regional governments, federal governments, sovereign governments, also NGOs, supranational NGOs, or of course multinational companies, of course. Which are the two absolutely essential pieces of knowledge? And I'm very surprised that it's not so obvious, and everybody talks about artificial intelligence, cyber control, energy, military power, the rockets and the megatons of whatever, control of the media, the pharma business, the agribusiness. Of course, these are important and they represent huge businesses, and I get it. We get the message why it's important. But there is the first key that is absolutely must have. It's really the elephant in the room, huh? And it's knowledge. It's really a piece of very important knowledge, is the capacity to recreate biodiversity, to recreate forests and huge pieces of nature to save actually the last piece of diversity which is left from those 3 decades where we destroyed 2/3 of the biodiversity, the fauna and the flora, the plants and the flowers and the animals. 2/3 is gone forever, and it's going to accelerate. Now, you as territorial leaders who get that message and understand why it's important, and I will explain you why. There are 3 basic reasons why it's actually super important for your territory. The first is that biodiversity creates microclimates which create control over water. If there's no water, there's no life. If there's no life, people will go out of your country. And that's geostrategically very important. If you have nobody left on your country, story's gone, over. Okay, you can close the chapter. Biodiversity, water brings food autonomy. You know, as much money you have, you cannot buy food if people don't want to sell it to you. If you cannot get food into your country. So food autonomy and create autonomy and not a dependence from whatever food that comes from across the world is a major strategic issue. And it's very curious that nobody realized that. It's so obvious today. You can see it with the naked eye. But also a third aspect of it, and you can see it, what happened in India, in Pakistan, and all those places where we had this, and drafts, even in Europe, everywhere, in California. Check it out, look what's going on. Climate mitigation, climate change mitigation, if we can create those huge areas of greening, we will change the climate in the positive. And it's perfectly possible and it's completely scientifically proven that microclimates are created. So like that, people will not go out of your country when something happens, whether it's flooding or drought, in both sides. Okay, biodiversity, food, water, and climate mitigation. You cannot eat money, don't forget it. So that's a first key of geopolitics, strategic knowledge. The second key, I can hear you thinking trade routes, the control over ports, the minerals, the rare minerals, cobalt, coltan, and all that. The oil, the gas, I can see or hear you also thinking space defense, satellites, the technology of the internet, the technology of the internet routes, the cables and all that, computing power. Okay, it's important. A lot of people are dealing with that. But there is a second ultimate key of geopolitics and of strategic knowledge that you as a leader should dive into absolutely urgently, and it can go very fast, and that's our job. We can talk about it, check out our publications, our websites and our programs. It's the capacity to mobilize your people on positive, creative, co-constructive, desirable future. You can scare them to try to control them, but it will not lead you to the next century, to the next decade, the next century, to freak people out. You will not do anything interesting and valuable with people who are dependent and afraid. Nothing interesting. So the knowledge to do exactly the opposite, and don't you be afraid of doing that, because it's so beautiful and incredibly powerful to have full communities starting to work and think and act in a conscious and creative way to be much more efficient with resources and create this new kind of abundance, because we are much more efficient in the use of resources. All the economic theories prove it, that collaboration is much more efficient than competition. Competition to life and death is creating implosion of whole civilizations. If we collaborate positively and desirably, all of a sudden you connect, with each one's talents and power, so we can really co-create this world together, which is very desirable. And there are millions of people already doing it under the radar, and it works. So you as a leader, dive into this knowledge, so we can together create that common progress. That piece of knowledge and capacity of mobilizing. Don't go tomorrow out to make a public discourse. I've seen the light. No, wait, do it little by little, connect, learn, read, learn about how it works, see what happens already, and little by little try, because it's a minority still today of people who are ready for that co-creation. It's less than 1%. It will not get you elected. That's the incredible contradiction. It will not get you elected, but we have to try to little by little start with this 1 or 2 or 3% to do that job and to make it inspiring. So, voila. And then after that, with the multiplying effect, we can double, quadruple, decouple every 6 months and create that emergence of that new civilization, which is already showing the top of the nose. Look at it, the beautiful things that's happening in this chaos of this huge sinking ship. Voilà, good luck, and let's meet soon in one of those regeneration islands to create that world.